Okay. I think everybody has joined. All right. Seeing some people in the Q&A answering Albuquerque, La Puebla. Cool. Farmington. Awesome. Well, happy to have you all here. So I'm actually in Kalamazoo, Michigan. My name is Monica Alvarez Cunningham. To start out, this is going to be about a 30-minute presentation. It might go by a little quicker, but we will definitely be happy to stay on longer and chat if you have any additional questions for us. A few housekeeping items. We will have time at the end, like I said, for that Q&A. We are going to cover a lot of information, so please try to hold your questions till the end because we might be answering them during the presentation. But of course, drop those in there once you have them if we don't answer your question. And yeah, so we will begin the presentation. Like I said, my name is Monica Alvarez Cunningham. I actually worked in the media and communications industry for over a decade. My passion was leading, coaching, and mentoring diverse teams, but I really loved recruiting, so that's how I found my way to TTEC. And one thing I will say off the top is that TTEC is very supportive and welcoming of people making career changes, career pivoters. We know we've had a lot of you, a lot of people doing that now during the pandemic. So just want you to know off the top that that is something that we definitely welcome. So the agenda for today, we're going to talk about the TTEC experience. We're going to go over what opportunities we have. We're going to talk about what it takes to succeed at TTEC, our hiring process, and then we'll have that Q&A. So let's start talking about why you should join TTEC. It's a customer service company, but we really look at it as customer experience software as a service. Like we really focus on that customer experience, not so much just the customer service part of it. We'd like to call ourselves the largest company you've probably never heard of. We have over 50,000 employees around the world. And even though you might not have heard of us, we are actually behind the scenes of a lot of the world's largest brands, a lot of the iconic brands that you all love and, deal with on a daily basis. And we have a ton of opportunities, but the best thing about TTEC is that it's a dynamic culture. It's entrepreneurial and inclusive. We definitely believe in growth, opportunity, engagement, and connection, and we believe the future is full of exciting possibilities just waiting to be discovered. Another one of the great things about TTEC is that it's a company that loves to promote from within. And we really make sure that employees feel valued and that everyone can come in as their authentic self. All of these photos are of actual current TTEC employees. Dan and his dog Splat Dan's actually one of my partners over on the creative services team. We work together a lot on videos that we publish on our YouTube page, which I highly encourage you to check out. And then the other thing I'll mention is the TTEC values that you see here. We all have kind of our favorite one. My favorite is seek first to understand. As my colleagues will tell you, I ask way too many questions, but that's the way I am. And I feel empowered to come in and ask whatever questions I have. I never feel bad. There's never a dumb question. And, that just really speaks to the inclusive and accepting culture at TTEC. So we've won quite a few awards for our experience, our customer service experience, for our coaching and our training. But also most recently, we were actually named FlexJobs' #2 recruiter in the USA for virtual jobs in 2021. So we've been on that list before, but to be #2 now, it's pretty awesome. We're very excited about that. And you can see that on Forbes.com where they actually featured us. So let's talk about opportunities because I know that's what you're all ready to hear about. So what we're hiring for. We have the bilingual customer service representatives. This one is for English Spanish bilingual. It's all inbound. We have the customer service representative, which is also inbound within the US. And then we have the inbound sales representative, which is actually a new hot job that we're featuring. And we'll talk more about those as we go through this presentation. So some more reasons to work with TTEC. We offer competitive pay, benefits, paid training, W-2 employment. our TTEC University, which is a great internal learning and development program. It actually, if you come in as a customer service representative, you'll have mandatory trainings that'll help elevate you in that role. But also, we have offerings in case you're interested in other kinds of learnings. And I mean, there is a wide array of learning opportunities through TTEC University. On top of that, TTEC also offers the Build program. So if you come in as a customer service representative, which is the entry point role at the company, there's opportunities to grow your career at TTEC. There will be mentorship, there will be specific training, and online coursework you have to do through TTEC University. But it's really to set you up for success in a different role, whether you want to go into operations or team lead. If you want to go something else like human capital, there's a ton of opportunities, and the best part is that TTEC really loves to promote from within. So that's why I really like to talk about TTEC University and then the Build program, because those are two of the best parts of the company. So something we want to talk about off the top here is job seeker safety. I know that right now safety is at the top of all of our minds. Like I said, we're the biggest company you've probably never heard of, so we understand that you're weary. There's a lot of scams out there, which is why we like to have these presentations. We want to show you our faces so you can see who we are, talk more about the company. But just remember that if you're going through the application process with TTEC, we're never going to ask you to transfer or wire money. We're never going to ask you to pay for any expenses, recruitment related or otherwise. You will only interview through Zoom, so no Google Hangouts, anything like that. And you will only receive emails from @ttech.com or @teletech.com in the domain name. We don't send unsolicited job offers, and we don't send we don't ask you to email us any sensitive information. It will be like any other job application. So, and then the other thing is we are not going to ask you to order equipment from us. We do require you to provide your own equipment in most cases. And in some cases, we will provide it, but we will never ask you for money for equipment. So please keep that in mind. So, what does it take to join TTEC? So for these work from home jobs, which are 100% work from home, we're looking for a high school graduate or equivalent, and we're asking for 6 months or more of customer service experience. When we say 6 months or more of customer service, we don't necessarily mean just traditional brick and mortar, call center. We're talking about any kind of job that you might have had where you were dealing with the public or clients or patients or customers. So really there's a lot of opportunities that can translate over to these skills. So even if you don't have that traditional customer service experience, we really hope you still consider applying. And then as far as the skills that we're looking for go, we obviously want you to have a customer service attitude. We want you to be tech savvy, independent, self motivated, a problem solver, and disciplined. And the reason we look for these skills specifically is because you're going to be working from home. And though you're going to have a team and a team lead that will be able to support you, whenever you need them virtually, you are going to be working on your own. So if you have to troubleshoot, some minor issue with your computer, we're expecting you to be able to troubleshoot that on your own. And we also expect you to log in, start your work day. No one has to tell you to, do your job. No one's going to be standing over your shoulder telling you to get your work done. We really expect you to be disciplined and motivated in doing this on your own. So, work from home with TTEC. When we say work from home, we mean work from home. So what we're looking for is a quiet, distraction-free, high-speed internet with a direct internet connection. So it can't be Wi-Fi. You actually need to be plugged into your modem directly, and a USB headset, which we can provide the USB headset. So you don't have to provide that on your own in most cases. And then we are also looking for Windows-based PCs, no Chromebooks, no Apple products. Unfortunately, they're just not compatible with our systems. And we have very strict safety requirements because these jobs do work with very sensitive client information. So unfortunately, it does have to be a Windows-based PC. And then that is why we require you to plug into your Ethernet. These aren't jobs that you can just take on the road with you on a road trip. Wherever you get hired from, that is where we need you to work from. And yeah, now if you have any specific questions about this, definitely let us know, and we will definitely talk more about this later on. We're also going to drop a link, if we haven't done so already, to our systems check, where you can actually go ahead and check your computer and your internet to make sure it meets our minimum requirements. So let's talk about our hiring process. Phase one, you're going to apply on ttechjobs.com, and that's where you'll do that initial system assessment that we were just talking about. Phase two, we're going to do the talent assessment, where we'll talk about the basic core competencies to make sure you have those to succeed in this role. And then there's going to be a virtual interview. And in the last phase, where if you're offered a job with TTEC, you should be ready to start your new career. There's going to be one last readiness test, just a few last tech checks to make sure your equipment and your connection are ready to go. And you're off. Some FAQs. There are some states that we're not able to recruit in. Most of you are probably in New Mexico, which is one of our states that we can hire in. But just in case you're watching us from somewhere else, please note that California, Colorado, Hawaii, Illinois, New York, we're unable to recruit in those states. And then we'll talk about the training hours. So the hours depend on the class you're enrolled in. So it depends on who our client is. Once you're in the process talking with your recruiter, they will have that information and you can work with them in case there are any concerns with the would-be schedule. Yes, there is a possibility of working nights and weekends. I know for some people that's great. That is what they're looking for. So yes, those opportunities do exist. So that would be something that you would talk to your recruiter about directly. Then the compensation for the position varies on the program client you're supporting, but the pay range is $11 to $15 per hour. If you are one of those Spanish bilinguals, that one does have an extra dollar. So it would be on the higher end of that pay range. For the inbound sales representatives, it's $11.25 per hour, but it also includes commission. And then the technical requirements for the PC, like we mentioned, check out that ISA. We do recommend that you check out our requirements prior to submitting an application. And again, if we haven't dropped that link in the chat, hopefully someone can drop it in there so you can check it out. And the role does require the Windows-based PC with high-speed internet above 15 megabytes at Ethernet and a quiet workspace. And then as far as benefits go, we do offer dental, vision, a 401k for everybody. And then for full-time employees, you also get the medical insurance and you also get tuition reimbursement. In addition to that, everybody has access to TTEC University, like I mentioned. Everyone, again, 401k. And there's other perks that also vary by class. And by class, we mean whoever our client is. So that's something that you would talk to your recruiter about and they would have more details. And so with that, I will open it up to questions.
Hi, Moni. It's Liliana from New Mexico Workforce. Thank you so much for partnering with us. And everyone, thank you for joining the event. I will send the resources link via email by the end of today to everyone as well. And we do have them on our Facebook page if you guys have any questions about that too. You can reach out to our workforce office at 505-843-1900. And I do have a question. Everyone, I just, thank everyone for joining. And the first question is there room for promotion?
Yeah, so one of the great things about TTEC is that we love to promote from within. Opportunities are typically made available to employees before they're made public on our career site. So, if you're working at TTEC, you definitely have a team that's invested in your career growth. If you want to further your career at TTEC, you will have that support. There's mentorship, there are, employee affinity groups, there's the TTEC University, there's the Build program. So there really are a ton of different avenues that you can explore and so many different resources that can really help you with your career at TTEC. So even if you come in as customer service, but let's say you're going to school for something else, like HR or marketing, whatever, we have all kinds of roles at the company. So you coming in at that entry point is not the final point. Like there's definitely much opportunity for you to grow. I hope that answers that question.
Great, thank you. And the next question, and DJ did answer some of them on our chat, or I'm sorry, on our Q&A. But the question was, it's a good question. How long after I apply will I hear something back from TTEC?
So I'm not sure what DJ said, but it typically depends on, the class that we're hiring for. In some cases, you would hear back, within a couple of days. So it really depends on, what class you're applying to. But typically, yeah, like 24, 48 hours is the majority of the time that you'll hear back.
Perfect, that's exactly what he said. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Oh, and I will point out back to the promotion thing. So we have that video with Rose. She's one of our team leads, and she's actually based in New Mexico. She started working for TTEC in January of 2020, so January of last year. And by the summer, she was promoted to a team lead position. So, like I said, opportunities for growth definitely exist.
There's another question. Is it possible for job seekers to look at this presentation? And yes, we will have it posted for 2 weeks on our website, and I'll be sending that link also in later today to the email where you signed up to register for this event.
Okay, so I see a question. Any possibility of choosing which program company to work for? Unfortunately, that is up to the recruiters because they're just hiring constantly on a rolling basis. So that would definitely be up to the recruiter and they would let you know.
I think you did a really great job presenting, and we don't have too many questions. And if anybody joined in later, Moni, would you have a recap for us? Just
Yeah, okay, so I see that question. Hi, Tammy. Yeah, so the company's a customer service company, but we really like to call ourselves a customer experience as a service company. We have over 50,000 employees all over the world, and we support some of the biggest, most iconic brands in the world. So brands that you've heard of, probably brands that you love and use on a daily basis. So the roles that we're hiring for are customer service roles to support these companies. They're our clients. We can't say who they are due to privacy concerns, but you would be working with as a customer service representative or as an inbound sales associate. And so all of the jobs that we're promoting for are inbound. None of them require cold calling or outbound calling. But you can learn more about TTEC at ttec.com. We talk a lot about the company where we started over almost 40 years ago as a traditional call center, and we've evolved to much more than that. So we offer all kinds of services. In addition to the customer service roles, we also offer digital and consulting services to our clients. So it's a very innovative company that has transitioned from just being a traditional call center customer service company to much, much more. And so I really encourage everyone to check out our website, to learn more about the company. It's pretty cool.
thank you, Moni. And I have another really good question. If I have a Mac computer at this moment, I would gladly go and purchase one that is compatible. Will I be ruled out immediately if I do not have the exact computer at this moment?
Yeah, so um, you do need to have the computer to pass the ISA, which is what would move you to the next part of the application process. However, we do have an email address for questions like that that are very specific. We have an email address, and DJ, I don't know if you dropped it in the chat yet or not, but you can email them and you can let them know that specific question, and they'll work with you and see, if they can find a solution. No guarantees, but they would be the best people to support you with that question.
Thank you. We'll get that email out for sure later today with that one. And what if we start working and move to Texas in 8 months? That's another good question.
Yeah, so a lot of our roles are 3 to 6 month terms, and then some of them are full time. So the best thing to do is once you start, once you're in the process with your recruiter, talking to them about your start date, that's something that you should let them know. Texas is a state that we recruit in. So, again, I can't promise anything, but it makes it easier when it is a state that we're recruiting in. But typically, we do expect you to stay where you're hired from for the duration of that term. Now, if one ends and you get hired for another one immediately afterwards, I'm sure that could be fine, but that's definitely something you would talk to your recruiter about. The only big issue that I can definitely think of is if you were going, international, or if you were going to one of those states that I mentioned that we can't recruit in, like California, Hawaii, Illinois, New York, and Colorado.
Thank you. And somebody asked, how many positions on average do you have for New Mexico at the present time?
So we don't actually have a set number of positions for any state. Our company, all our positions are national. So we have a lot of jobs that we're trying to hire for. So actually, if all of you can relay the message to your friends and family who are looking for jobs and let them know about us, we would appreciate that, because we have a ton of opportunities, and there is no set number, is all I can tell you. And I don't want to be vague. I don't, it's just, like I said, we deal with very sensitive client information, and there are certain things that we just can't say because it would breach our contract with them. So just know that we have lots and lots and lots of opportunities.
Thank you, Moni. And I have a couple more questions. Do you have to try to sell, or is it where people already know what they need to order?
So for the inbound sales, it would all be inbound. And yes, you'd be working for a specific client. Um, and then so it would be a specific client's products that they were looking at. There is some sales experience required for that one, but it is pretty minimal. It is an entry point opportunity. So I encourage you to check out the job description, because it actually goes into detail about all of that. And I know, Liliana, you're going to send out those links later today, right?
Yes, definitely. Mhm. And how long is the training process before taking calls?
So that typically varies as well. I know that it can be like 2 weeks. And I will say that for the training process, it is a set schedule that you have to, attend. But then after that, you'd go into whatever your work schedule is. So it depends on what client you're supporting. I know it's at least 2 weeks, like I said. I know that in some cases it can be like 6 weeks. So that would be something to talk to your recruiter about, especially if you had concerns about scheduling, because it is mandatory, and it is paid. You're hired by us, and I didn't really go into detail about this, but you are a W-2 employee of TTEC. So you'd be W-2 employee. You'd be paid during training, and then training can vary depending on who you're working with.
And Daniel did send that email for any questions for applying or any questions that you might have. It's new hire at home at ttech.com. So everyone should have it as an attendee and as panelist, but for sure we will send it out. Thank you, Daniel. And another question is, how many hours a day can we work?
So it depends. If you're a full-time employee, um, it would be, 40 hours at least. And then if you did want overtime opportunities do exist. If you are looking for part-time, which we do have some part-time opportunities, it's the 32 hours
Thank you.
per week. Sorry. Yeah. And you said per day. So yeah, so 40 hours. So you're looking at your 8-hour workday plus overtime. And then, if you're doing part-time, it'd be less hours than that. So maybe it'd be 8 hours, 4 days a week. So,
You can get overtime?
but you can get overtime. Yes.
Okay. And is there an age limit or do you guys have?
No, there is no age limit. I will say, the company is very focused on being diverse and inclusive. We understand that there are a lot of things to take into consideration out there. So it is a company that really tries, we try our best, to make sure that we accommodate. So um, just know that you're going to be working at your desk for your entire shift. So it's not a job that you can kind of like walk away from. You have to be there like if you were in the office the whole time. So depending on your work setup, whatever is comfortable for you. But it is either sitting long periods of time or if you have a standing desk, just like you would in an office. But we do not have an age limit. We do have a minimum age requirement, which is 18.
Perfect. Thank you, Moni. And the last question, I think but do you have biweekly pay or how often do you pay?
It is biweekly. I hope that answered that question.
Yes. So is there anything else that you wanted to say?
Well, I will just say that, like I said, I joined the company last year. I came from a totally different industry. I was looking for a job where I could work in recruiting. And, this company's been great. It's been a great opportunity. Um, it's just the opportunities available within the company are amazing. I've worked at some pretty great places before, and this place rivals any of the best places I've ever worked. Um, we've had just some great conversations, about supporting employees, and the company really takes employee, well-being very seriously. So it's a great company to work for. I really hope you'll consider applying. I hope I've answered your questions, but we, definitely have other resources available if you do have other questions. And definitely encourage you to check out the TTEC website to learn more about us, learn more about what we do, and you can see the opportunities on there. I myself am not recruiting for internships, but we do have internships available. So for anyone on here who is kind of looking for, who's in school and is looking at those opportunities, please check those out. We have some great leadership development programs that stem from those internships. So check those out. And then, we do have other opportunities in our corporate, um, with our corporate office, which is based in Colorado. Everyone's working remotely right now. Some jobs will be required to go back to work sites, but these that I'm recruiting for today are 100% work from home, um, indefinitely. So,
And you have some really great YouTube videos too. So if anyone goes to your page.
yeah, thanks for pointing that out. So, I'm one of many people who work on those YouTube videos. So, would really appreciate you guys checking out our YouTube page. We have all kinds of videos that talk about our corporate culture. They talk about some of our affinity programs, like our Women in Leadership program, which is a great resource that we have. We talk about, we have a specific New Mexico series featuring Rose, our team lead out there. And then other videos that talk about more of what it's like to spend a day in the life of a customer service representative at TTEC.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Monica. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, no problem. Happy, and obviously if you get any questions after this, Liliana, let us know. We're happy to answer any specific questions. I know DJ shared that email address, and the recruiters are also happy to answer questions there. So
Thank you. Well, I think we'll end it now, and anyone wants to watch the recording, and it will be on our Facebook again, or you can go to TTEC's websites to watch the videos, and reach out to us if you have any questions at New Mexico Workforce or to TTEC. Thank you guys.
thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.